they insisted on staying, and I found myself saying the strangest things, like, my friends who've had hysterectomies didn't have to have their parents there with them. They got to have their hysterectomies on their own. But my parents demanded to stay, and so they did, and I went into Cedars-Sinai for about 5 days, and during one of those days, my father sat in this chair across from my hospital bed, and for 12 hours, he just stared at me. He didn't read, he didn't watch TV, he didn't even listen to the radio, he just stared at me. And I was so glad to be on the morphine. After my surgery, the doctor came into the recovery room and he said, Julia, the operation was a big success. We were able to get out all of the tumor that we could see. We were able to save your ovaries, which is a very good thing because your ovaries emit these hormones which you need. But we're going to recommend that you get about 9 weeks of radiation, and this could adversely affect your ovaries. So we took the opportunity while we were in there to move your ovaries up about 1.5 feet from their original position so that they'd be out of the rays of the radiation. So I said, okay. And he said, don't worry, you know, your ovaries can work from wherever they are. And I said, okay. And he said, now, the other good thing about keeping your ovaries is that if you are interested in having a biological child one day, you still can. We can go in and extract some eggs, and you can mix them with sperm and then have a surrogate mother have the child for you. So, you know, I was taking all of this in, and I thought, oh, great, now I have to meet a guy and a girl. Then he said, now, if you really are interested in having a biological child one day, I should tell you that the radiation could still adversely affect your ovaries, even in their new position. So I would recommend that we go in now. We could harvest about 12 eggs. And I was thinking, why 12? Because they're eggs? And he said we could harvest these 12 eggs. The only problem is we don't have the medical technology to just hold on to these eggs by themselves. They have to be fertilized first, and then we can freeze them for up to 5 years. So basically, if we do this, you have to know who your sperm donor is going to be now. So I said, oh, okay. Well, I have been dating someone for a couple of months. I don't know if now is the exact moment to say to Carl the next time he comes into town, hey, before we go to the movie on Friday night, why not fertilize all my eggs? You know, in case things work out between us. So I said, well, how many different sperm donor people could I have? And he said, well, I'm not going to allow 12 startup costs. And I said, no, I understand that, but how many different sperm donor people could I have? And he said, I don't know, 6. So I got out my address book, and I thought, okay, what are the criteria? The criteria are somebody who I know whose number I have.